Good morning. I am going to start in about 3 to 5 minutes just to give time to those who are logging in right now. So we'll start in about 3 to 5 minutes, okay? Today's Mindset Monday. And then apart from mindsetting, I want to go ahead and touch up a little bit on our database and contacts and, everything that we need in order to, start our business. So let's just give it about 3 to 5 minutes and we'll begin today, today all the way through Thursday. It's from 10 to 12. So I want to pack in as much information as possible. Today we won't run past that. I think that the day that we might run a little bit past time might be on the day that we do systems, okay? So let's just give it, 2 to 5 minutes at most, just to get everybody rolling in, and we'll begin shortly. Good morning, Denise.
Good morning.
I know how much you love when I say let's wait 2 to 5 minutes.
It's all good.
This is, since it's a 2-hour type of thing, I want to just give enough time for people to join us. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Actually, I was curious about this class. Is it going to be a whole week thing?
Yes, it's a whole week thing. We're going to start today with mindsetting, which is a little bit of what we do on Fridays. And then apart from mindsetting, I want to touch up on building our database and contacts and different little things. I'm going to be giving you guys homework so that we can get your businesses started. What have you been working on, Denise?
Well, I had a buyer who purchased something, but then she just decided to buy something else. So it's
I lost you there. How are you, Sunny?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting these wonderful seminars.
I try.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I'm crazy.
No, well, you're personable and you make them fun.
Thank you. What are you working on?
Right now I'm working on a flyer for a condo that I have in Hallandale.
Okay.
And there's a buyer for it, but I don't think that the appraisal is going to come through at the purchase price. So I think that the buyer's financing may not come through because of the appraisal. I have two deals that I'm working on that are appraisal dependent.
Got it. Isn't that fun?
Well, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's part of the madness that we live in.
Yes.
How are you, Maisa?
Fine, and you?
I'm doing well. What are we working on?
I was doing the appraisal for one of the property that I have under contract.
Yeah.
And Today I have some for rentals.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. Okay, people are sprinkling in. So I wanted to start today's with mindset, right? And some of you guys have done this exercise with me, and some of you guys might have not done this exercise with me, but I do like to start with mind setting. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. I was reading, messages are coming in about people signing up. I wanted to start today with mind setting, and I'm going to start with some words on a conference that I went to a few years ago, back in 2019, where conferences were a thing, right? And then from there, we will start an exercise that some of you guys might have done with me, some of you guys haven't, but I always like to begin with the exercise of the stick figure, right? To get everybody in the mind setting of where we need to be. So let's begin with mind setting. Anxiety equals fear, okay? And I do like, give me one second, I see people are still sprinkling in. Anxiety equals fear. It holds you back from thinking that maybe you cannot do something that you actually can do, okay? Anxiety will hold you back. Don't let fear take over you, okay? Real success, being in the now. The law of entanglement. You are what you tolerate. And I want you guys to write that. You are what you tolerate, okay? What happens if you have a cancerous cell? It spreads. One loser friend equals 10 loser friends. Let go of your cancer cells. You are what you allow affect you. And I'm only going over some of the things that I wrote down at this conference, because I do believe that mind setting is everything in our business. If we sit there and we say, we don't have enough people to call, you're never gonna call. If you say, I hate rejection, I'm afraid of the phone, you're never gonna pick up that phone. It's gonna be the biggest monster in your life. If you are hanging around with people who are making, I don't know, $12, $15 an hour, and you're here trying to have an entrepreneurship mindset of growth and making at least $10,000, $15,000 commission checks every single month, those friends are gonna hold you back. Their mindset, right? Mindset, I believe, is everything. If you know, excuse me, if you know that you can make $1 million in an industry proven to make $1 million to other people, and you aren't making it, you are the reason. So what things are we gonna be changing in order for you to also prove that this industry can make somebody $1 million? 1 out of 3 people in this room will never change their life. Don't do mediocre work. Waste of time. Don't do mediocre work. Mediocre work is a waste of time where you can actually be productive. Again, I'm just reading a few things on that I had written down at a conference a few years ago on mind setting. And then from there, we'll go ahead and start working on how to create our contact list and all the cool stuff that we're here for this week. But mind setting in this business is everything. Every morning, you guys should wake up and say, I am a people and money magnet, because your self-esteem will determine absolutely every action that happens in your life. Be in control of your brain. Eliminate toxic people. What you believe to be true is true.
True.
You sit here every morning and you say, you know what, I cannot do it. You won't do it. But if you sit there every morning and say, you know what, I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna make this happen. You write down your goals and you really do work every single day to reach them. What you believe to be true is true. Act as if success is certain. You see things that you want. Yes, I want it. And then make a plan on how you can afford it. Learn how to influence people. Power is a mind trigger. Okay. Now, for those of you writing notes, we're going to start with my most favorite exercise. I usually do this at the very beginning of the year. And some of you might have even done it with me in the past. I want you guys to, on your paper, go ahead and draw a stick figure. You guys see my stick figure person? I want you guys to draw a stick figure. I mean, my stick figure, you know, I end up putting shoes on it and hands and a face, right? I want you guys to draw a stick figure. And if you guys have done this exercise with me, you guys can actually begin, right? If you guys haven't done this exercise with me, then I want you guys to picture who your ideal, or not your ideal client, but that client that you want to attract into your life. Okay. What do they do for work? Are they an executive? Are they doctors? Are they professionals? Maybe an attorney? Are they that single stay-at-home mom, you know, who is looking for her first time property? Is it an investor who's already buying multiple properties for rental income? Is it who is this person? What is it that they do on a regular basis, right? What type of job do they entail? Are they professionals? Are they trying to make ends meet? Are they already in the entrepreneurship level? Are they, you know, office executives? Are they board members, right? What neighborhood do they live in? Do they live in Coral Gables? Do they live in Aventura? Are they in Sunny Isles? And if you can picture what neighborhood they live in, if you can actually picture like a certain neighborhood, like maybe they live in Sunny Isles, maybe they live in, I don't know, maybe they live in Aquilina in Sunny Isles. Where do they live? If you have a certain neighborhood where they should be living at. Where do they like to eat? Where do they like to eat? What mall do they go to shop at? I want you guys to start writing all these things down. Where do they shop? Where do they eat? Where do their kids go to school? Who are their friends? If you wrote down that maybe your person maybe is a doctor, are their friends attorneys? Are they other executives? Are they other, I don't know, are they teachers? I want you to write it all down. Where do their kids go to school? What actual school do they go to? Is it a private? Is it a public? And And the reason why I like to do this exercise, and I usually tell you guys to hold on to your person, to your stick figure drawing throughout the year, is because if your person is shopping at Aventura Mall and you're down at Dayland, you're never gonna meet them. If your person is having lunch at Houston's here in Aventura and you guys are eating, you know, I don't know, at McDonald's, you're never gonna meet them. If they're hanging out with their friends at Brickell City Center over the weekends, or maybe they like to stroll Wynwood for those museums, the pop-up museums that they do, and you guys are inside your houses on the weekends, you're never gonna meet them. So it is important to not only know exactly the type of client that you wanna work with, but where you guys should be surrounding yourself at or by, so that you guys can start surrounding yourself around the people you guys want to start attracting, right? I'm a huge believer of, like, I've been at a restaurant eating with other realtors there, and if there's a baby in the table next door, you know, maybe making them laugh, and I make sure that that realtor gives the card to that table next to us and says, oh man, you have a really, really cute baby. If you ever need anything, please call me. But you have to be not just at any restaurant. You gotta be at the restaurants of where you need to, or where you wanna be. And I like to take this exercise to, I like to take this exercise to, you know, where you should be farming. Because if you said that your client lives in Coral Gables in a certain neighborhood, then that should be the area that you should be farming. That should be the area where you should be door knocking, going to the open houses, getting to know the people that are in that area, maybe doing a WhatsApp chat, getting on the Nextdoor apps and getting to know everybody that's there, going on Remind, seeing who has equity in properties, how long have they lived there, do they need to upgrade and downgrade. All of your homework needs to be surrounded where these individuals that you want to work with are at. Does that make sense? So once we do have our little stick figure and we've written all around them, right, who they are, I want you to turn the page, and then I want you to write down the gross volume of sales that you would like to reach this year. Gross volume of sales. I want to remind everyone that 1 million in sales equals $30,000 in commission. If it's at a 3%. Okay, $1 million equals $30,000 in commission. Now, I don't want to know your numbers of how much you want to reach this year, but you should every year have in writing what is your gross volume of sales. If you've reached 1 million, you should try to reach 2, 3. I usually like to tell you guys that the magic number should be 5, right? Now, if the average properties in Miami are around $350,000, how many properties must you sell to reach your gross volume of sales? And I want you to break it down and write it all down. And so how many properties must you sell to reach your gross volume of sales? Now, once you know your number of properties, then I want you to break that down by how many properties do you have to sell per month. And this is just mind setting, right? Once you've broken it down by month, today is February 1st, right? So if you guys did close on something, if you guys closed on something in January, I want you to deduct it from your list. If you haven't sold anything in January, then I want you guys to make a plan, because now you guys no longer have 12 months. Now you guys have 11. And I want you guys to keep in mind that whatever you guys do today, you guys are not going to see the fruit of it for at least 3 months, okay? So it is very important that we have all of these things in mind, right? All of these numbers in mind. This should be part of like a vision board for you guys. They should be somewhere in your office. They should be somewhere where you are constantly reminded of who it is that you're working with, who it is that you want to work with, you know, who your stick figure person is, and then the breakdown of gross volume of sales you guys want to sell this year. Okay, if the average home in Miami-Dade is around 350,000, then how many homes do you guys have to sell to reach that gross volume of sales? Then it is number of properties per month that you guys should be closing. Any questions so far? And again, today is mind setting. Any questions so far? Any comments? Beautiful. Now, part of the assignment, which I believe I had mentioned before, part of the assignment that I want you guys to do, right, is I want you guys to start adding 50 contacts to your list on a weekly basis. And I know it sounds insane. I know it sounds crazy. How am I gonna be able to get 50 new people on my list every single week, right? But I tell you guys on Fridays that we should be calling 8 to 12 people. 8 to 12 people every single day and remind them that we are in real estate, right? And if we were to do 12 divided by 7, sorry, yeah. If we were to do 12 people every day, 12 times 7 is 84. And if you guys were to do the minimum, which is 8 people, times 7 is 56 people. So it kind of plays a little bit with the amount of people we should be calling on an everyday basis, if that makes sense. So I want you guys to add 50 new contacts per week. Now, this could be something so simple as somebody you guys have not spoken to in a million years. It could be somebody from Facebook. Facebook reminds you on birthdays. I tell you guys this every single Friday. And if on Facebook you see that you have somebody's birthday that you haven't spoken to, you don't have their phone number, and you start messaging them Don't do it on a regular post because it's so impersonal, and everybody's doing that as well. And you could do it even the day after their birthday, so they're not being bombarded by everybody on Facebook. And you say, oh my God, happy birthday. How did you spend it yesterday? That is amazing. We haven't spoken in a while. I am, getting my database together. Do you mind if I have your phone number? That's somebody you can add to your list. They don't need to know why you need their phone number, but it's 50 new contacts per week. I said this the other day as well, where we should be writing 25 handwritten notes on a monthly basis. And your 25 handwritten notes, and I mean, I used to be the queen of this. I got really, really bad at this in 2020, right? I didn't know if people wanted to receive cards, if they were going to be opening up the mail, if COVID was in the mail. I didn't know if people were going to be good at that, good about that. But I used to send out note cards. And this could be something as simple as Happy Valentine's Day. If you need absolutely anything from me, please don't hesitate to call me. I love receiving handwritten notes. And the reason for the 25 notes is another set of reminder of reminding people that, one, you are here and you are in real estate. As realtors, you guys don't actually have an actual something to sell people, right? You don't have a product. You're not walking around in front of everybody saying, hey, would you like to buy this pen, right? What you guys are actually selling is yourself. You guys have to sell yourself as somebody that people like, people trust, and that people want to do business with. So the one thing that you guys have to constantly be doing on a regular basis is reminding people that you guys are actually realtors. And part of getting 50 contacts into your list, part of the sending 25 notes, is part of the job of selling yourself to other people, right? Now, how many of you would have 200 names on a spreadsheet, if you guys were to say, I'm going to start building my database today? Anyone? 200 names? Maybe more or less?
I have my database. I have more than 300 names,
Okay.
but I know that I need to update it because I did it about 1 year ago.
Do you use your database? Do you call them? Do you message them? Do you send letters? Really. Anything?
No, I try to be in contact with all my clients, as you say, seeing Facebook, and if I see that they have a special day like anniversaries or birthday, or I try to be in contact as much as I can. Because as my friends are older, they use more Facebook than Instagram, as I said. But
I will say something though, because I love when people say like, oh, we're older. And my kids make fun of me. My kids say, oh, Mom, you have Facebook. You're so old, right? And I look at them like, screw you. Like, who are you talking about, right? But believe it or not, number one in social media for engagement is Facebook. So you want to be on Facebook because it's going to be the one that's going to, if you are very active on it, your engagement will push your algorithm a lot. The way that it works is the more engagement you have, the more you're seen. So your algorithm gets pushed and then you're seen more. So I want you guys in Facebook. I will ask the most ridiculous questions on Facebook. Obviously, my audience is realtors, right? So I will ask you guys anything under the sun that's real estate related, and I will have so many people answer me that it does push my algorithm for more people to see me. So you want to be on Facebook. You do want to be seen on there. You do want to create engagement. You want to start asking questions and posting pictures and getting your things up on Facebook. Now, when it comes to your database, I do want you guys to use Facebook as a tool. Facebook does something that Instagram doesn't allow you to do. Instagram, you cannot post a link that takes anybody back to your website. It doesn't allow you to post things, has landing pages. All you can do on Instagram is just post a picture and call it a day, right? Post a video and call it a day. But you can't go further than that to be able to capture people's information the way Facebook does. And I think that's one of the main reasons why Facebook has not died. It allows for lead generation in a way that Instagram will never allow you to do, right? And part of the lead generation is your database, how to create a bigger database. Now, give me 1 second. Now, when it comes to your database, I want you guys to remember that it shouldn't just be your old clients. It is also your friends and family. How many of you guys here have had a friend purchase a property and tell you in your face, oh man, I forgot that you were in real estate? And here you guys were posting about it 16 times per week that you're in real estate, but your friend forgot that you're in real estate. How many of you guys have had that experience?
True, especially family members who forgets that you're a realtor and they went down the block to their friend or their neighbor. And I'm like, oh, wow.
Now, is that their fault or is that your fault?
It is my poor marketing, grassroots marketing, relationship, and communication.
So I tell you guys on Fridays, and this is, I repeat myself on a regular basis on Friday of telling you guys, I don't want you guys to pick up the phone and do any type of cold calling, right? I feel like you guys see the phone has like the biggest monster. Somebody's gonna pop out of there. You guys are gonna get kidnapped. I don't know what's gonna happen to you guys if you guys pick up the phone, but something really, really, really bad is gonna happen if you pick up the phone. So I stopped telling you guys to cold call, right? And I told you guys to do catch-up conversations when it comes to your friends and family. Hey, happy birthday. Hey, happy birthday. How are you celebrating your birthday? How are you doing? What restaurant are you guys going to tonight? I am in real estate. Oh my God, you just had a baby. Congratulations. What a blessing. It is amazing to have children. You're going to go crazy for 18 years. But hey, I am in real estate. Real estate is going well. This is what's happening. Did you know it was a seller's market? Do you know that if you were to sell your home, you have no idea what's going on? There's lines to view the houses outside. So I want you guys to grab your catch-up conversations, not to sell anything, but just to remind people over and over again that you are in real estate and how your market is doing, right? And this is how you start building your database. Now, for those of you guys who have a CRM, I want you guys to write in your pretty little CRM a note every time you spoke to somebody, right? I spoke to them, and then every 3 months, come back and do another catch-up conversation. Hey, we never hung out. I never saw you. We never grabbed that coffee or that glass of wine. Would you like to get together again? And it is just with the idea of, let me remind them that I'm in real estate. Let me remind them that I'm in real estate. But you should be reminding everybody on an every 3-month basis that you guys are in real estate, and grab that database and not just do it by phone. This is where we come in and say, hey, besides a good, does your CRM system, does it do mass emails? Are you guys sending mass emails? Are you guys sending mass text messages? What is it that you guys are doing to be in front of people's faces on an everyday basis, right? Or on an every week basis or on a monthly basis, and make a plan from there. So how do you guys build a database besides family and friends and old clients? I always tell realtors, your past rental clients are gold, okay? Be sure to ask your rental clients whenever you're doing rentals for them, what is their big monster that's preventing them from purchasing? And the reason why I tell you guys to ask that is because if what they need to work on is credit, you already know that they can afford $2,000 rent, $3,000 rent, $4,000 rent. You already know more or less what their budget is on how much they can spend on a rental, right? So what is their big monster that is preventing them from purchasing next year? Is it their credit? You know, they're able to grab, if they're on a $2,000 rent, they're able to put together $6,000 for that rental. So what is preventing them from purchasing? And I want you guys to write that down and make a plan with that rental client, even if they have no idea about what that plan is, but I want you guys to write down what their big monster is. And if you have a CRM, make sure that somewhere in that CRM, you're writing the notes of this client doesn't have good credit. This client is not ready to purchase because they just moved into town and they want to see what areas they like. Whatever their monster is for not purchasing now, I want you guys to go ahead, grab it, write it down, note it, and put it in your CRM. And every 3 months, call that rental client. Hey, do you like the community? Did you like your landlord? How are your neighbors doing? Because there you start finding out, they might not want to live in an apartment for very much longer. Or maybe they might want a bigger yard. Or maybe they don't like those neighbors. But you start writing all these notes about all the things that they tell you that they like and don't like. And you start building a plan for where maybe they should be moving to next year. Whether they are ready to purchase next year or not, you're the one that's keeping in touch with them on an every 3-month basis. Most realtors, as soon as they close that transaction, they never speak to that client again. This is 99% of you, okay? It is, it is as if you guys are done with them. And your rental clients are the best ones that will need to at some point purchase, okay? Now, you guys should have a spreadsheet, whether it's in Excel, whether it's in your CRM, whether it is in MailChimp, wherever it is that is outside of your cell phone. You guys should have a spreadsheet with at least 200 names. And those names should have email addresses, their phone numbers, okay? If you can, have their birthdays. If you know anniversaries of when their spouses got married, write that down. Have as much information about these people as possible in that spreadsheet, because it gives you reasons to touch up with them. Does that make sense? Any questions so far or any comments? I will say this, you will not run a successful business without a CRM. And just by having a CRM does not mean that you're gonna run a successful business. But you will not run a successful business without a CRM. Your CRM is key. It is like having an admin. Your CRM should be your Bible. It should be what you have open every morning. You should have CRM time every single day. Okay? Now, why is your CRM so important? Because you document everything that's happening with your clients on there. Like I just said to you, I want you guys to document when you spoke to them. If they like where they're living, if they like their community, if they like their landlord, if they like their neighbors, I want you to document all these things. In a CRM, if it's a good CRM, it should do automated messages on birthdays and anniversaries. So if you have that information, your CRM will do it without you having to do absolutely anything other than activate that button. But you will not run a successful business without a CRM. There you go. Every realtor needs to have a game plan. And when I usually do the exercise of the stick figure, and then we speak about, you know, your volume and sales, I also like to have you guys see, like, here I wrote down game plan, but I like to do a business, not necessarily a business plan, but I like for you guys to grab your agendas, right? A realtor's agenda should be on an hourly basis. It shouldn't just say the day, it should have hours, right? Where's my February? It should be hourly. And you guys should have block outs, right? You guys should do this with highlighters and pens and whatever it may be. But the way that I have grabbed realtors, and you guys can come in and see me at any time in the office, but I have grabbed you guys and I tell you always, all right, so from what time to what time do you at what time do you wake up? And after you wake up, what it is that you're doing? And I like to go ahead and block out times. So you guys have your CRM time, your showing time, the time that you guys are going to be prospecting, the time that you guys are going to be doing follow-up conversations, right? And all this should be in order. And your agenda needs to match your CRMs and your task lists of when your CRM is going to tell you when you need to call people, or when you need to reach back out to people, or when you need to send them something, if that makes sense. Everything needs to kind of go hand in hand. Mind setting has a lot to do with your business plans and your agendas and what it is that you guys are doing. Mind setting. Top 20%. The top 20% of realtors, what they have is knowledge with focused actions. I want to repeat that again. The top 20% of top realtors, what they have is knowledge with focused actions. They have a routine and they do everything with intention. And they have their systems in place. Does that make sense? They have all of their systems in place. The top 20% are doing between 25 to 100 deals a year. The bottom 80 are not doing enough transactions, and they are not reaching out to the people that they know. Why do I stress so much about you guys calling and calling everybody? Because 48% of realtors never follow up. 48% of realtors never follow up. What does this mean? You guys grab your rental client, put them in close out the transaction, you guys get your commission checks, and then you guys absolutely never follow up with that rental client, whether it is the landlord or if it was the tenant. You guys absolutely never follow up. I want you guys to remember something if you guys are working with the landlords. Most of the time, about 99% of the time, the agent that worked with the tenant will never call the tenant ever again, okay? And if you guys worked with the landlord, you guys know the address of where these tenants are in. You guys should be following up with those tenants as well as with your landlord. You guys should be sending them something for the holidays. You guys should be reaching out to these clients on a regular basis. 25% of realtors will call them 2 times to follow up and then stop. You guys will follow up twice and then stop. This means even with catch-up conversations, you guys will call them for their birthday once a year. If you guys remember to call them on their birthday, maybe call them on a holiday and then stop. 12% of realtors will do 3 contacts and then stop. 10% of realtors will contact more than 3 times. Only 2% of sales are done on first contact. I want you to have this number like very well implemented in your brain. And this is all about mindsetting. Again, today, Monday, was mindsetting and building your database, right? So I've been going back and forth as I read my notes for today, but only 2% of sales are made on the first contact. Yet 48% of realtors never follow up. Five percent of sales are made on the third contact. 10% of sales are made on the fourth contact. And 80% of sales are done between the 5th and the 12th contact. Isn't that crazy? 48% of you guys never follow up, yet 80% of sales are done between the 5th and the 12th contact. And I'm not telling you to call them, 12 times, but if you were to call them and see how they were doing, and then send them an email for the holidays, and then send them a text message later on about how's life going, 5 to 12 contacts to remind people that you guys are in real estate will create a sale. I want you guys to have those numbers very well instilled in you guys. 48% of realtors never follow up. Yet 80% of the sales are done between the 5th and the 12th contact. I tell you guys, and I repeat myself over and over again, because I don't think that there's a magic pill for this. I don't think that there's, a magic wand that you guys wave. I really do believe that we shouldn't really reinvent the wheel. This works. Now, most agents go from call to getting an appointment, right? Like that's their main goal. If I'm gonna call them, it's to get an appointment, right? But why would you wanna call and then get an appointment right away if you haven't even pre-qualified the person at all, right? I made this little chart thing that I guess I will share with you guys. Maybe I wish I could draw it a little bit bigger. Maybe I will draw it a little bit bigger here, but I want you guys to draw in a paper, kind of like a rectangle, and I want you guys to put prospecting in the middle. Prospecting. I did not know how to spell that. Kind of like prospecting, right? Sorry for my spelling. I want you guys to put on top of that lead follow-up. I'll show you guys what I mean. So I want you guys to put on top of that lead and follow up, because as soon as you get the lead in, you guys should be following up, right? That would be step one. Step two would be to pre-qualify. Step two, pre-qualify. After pre-qualification, then ask for that appointment. From there, you would either write an offer, listing agreement, whatever it will be. From there, you will negotiate. Then you facilitate the transaction. Then you guys close out the transaction. And then you do a post-closing plan. So it's pretty much, let's see if we can do this. So on the top would be lead follow-up, pre-qualify, appointment, write out offers, listing agreements, then negotiate those, you know, documents that you guys have sent over with the offers, then facilitate the transaction. That means, you know, get your inspectors in order, make sure that they've applied for the loan, appraisal contingencies, that all the, you know, facilitate that transaction. Then it's gonna close. Then your post-closing plan. Your post-closing plan is so important, you guys. Again, you guys absolutely never, ever, ever speak to clients again after they close, even on a sale. You guys never send them a Christmas card again. You guys never call them on their birthdays again. And you never know if they go from that first-time homeowner purchase to 2 years later buying that first rental income property that you guys could have facilitated for them, and you guys never spoke to them again. And it is so important to have that post-closing plan. That post-closing plan should be to have them on the rotation of all your mass emails on the holidays, or your write-up cards, or, you know, how often you're going to be calling them from now on. Something as silly as calling them on their birthday so that they can go ahead and refer you a neighbor, or refer you a friend or family member. So important. And then from there, it should be post-closing plan, grab a lead, whether it's them again or somebody else, and then start the cycle over. That is what real estate is all about. In order to be successful in this business, you must have a lot of following up. You must do a lot of following up. In order to be successful in this business, you must do a lot of following up. Very important. 20% of the input, which would be time, resources, and efforts, accounts for 80% of the output, which would be the results and rewards. It's kind of like when you have your fitness plan, right? 80%, it goes 20% of the input, which would be time, resources, and effort, accounts for 80% of the output, which would be the results and the rewards. When a woman goes to go get dressed, she only wears 20% of what's in her closet, 80% of the time. We look at our closet, and we do this all the time. We look at our closet, we have a million things. We say we have absolutely nothing, and we wear the exact same things over and over again. it is very, very important to know what our time wasters are. What are our time wasters? There's another activity that I have probably done with you guys or told you guys to do on your own time, and most likely heard Andy Rosas speak about on an everyday basis, right? Andy Rosas, when he did his habit training, I don't know if he did that this time around, to be honest. But you guys should be writing down for 2 weeks straight, for 2 weeks, everything that you guys absolutely do from the moment you guys wake up all the way till you guys go to sleep, right? So it would be 5 a.m., wake up. Then some of you guys use the bathroom, brush teeth. And when I say write down everything, is write down everything. Make coffee. I want you guys to write down how often you guys go on social media or touch your phones, read your emails. I want you guys to literally write down absolutely everything. And if you guys can with time frames. And the reason why I say write down time frames, and this is something that I did learn from Andy Rosas from the How To guys, is because you guys would be surprised at how many minutes are wasted on activities that are time wasters, right? So obviously, waking up is a productive activity. Using the bathroom, brushing your teeth, productive activity, right? And then when we get to social media, if your social media time, you know, when you go at, I don't know, at 5:15 in the morning or whenever it is that you guys go on social media, as soon as you guys wake up, is not for prospecting, right? Or if it's not for your brand, if it's not for something that is productive, right? Then I want you guys to scratch it out of the time. So I want you guys to write absolutely everything that you guys do, and your non-productive activities, scratch them out. And then do this for 2 weeks straight, right? So on day 1, you recognize, oh man, I scratched that out. So the next day when you guys wake up, try to not do that activity. Go straight to the next activity and start creating daily plans, daily habits without your time wasters. But you have to recognize what your time wasters are, okay? You guys need to start practicing time blocking. Some of you guys are really, really, really good with your digital calendars. I am really good. Like if I don't write it down on my agenda, it does not exist. So I can have every digital calendar ringing at me, telling me it's time to do this. If it's not in writing, it does not exist for me. So if you're like me, make sure you have a really, really, really good agenda where you guys can write your things down and time block. If you're really good with digital calendars, and I know that some people are extremely good with their digital calendars and they use different colors and they do that whole thing, then use your digital calendars. Use whatever works for you guys. Okay? But know what your time wasters are. It is a guarantee that if you did more prospecting and following up, you will do more business. It's not magic. Again, we go back to that stick figure person that we spoke to at the very, very, very beginning, right? If you guys can identify who your stick figure is and you guys are out, let's say you guys are coming out of a store and you guys identify somebody that you guys should be working with. You guys should be saying, man, I really like your shoes. I love your belt, you know, nice purse, whatever it may be has a compliment, and have your business cards ready with you guys to say, if you ever need anything, call me. Start identifying the people that you guys want to start working with. If you did more prospecting and following up, you will do more business. And I think that that is a line that I'm going to grab and write all over this office for 2021. If you did more prospecting and following up, you will do more business. My entire Fridays, all I speak about is about prospecting. Very cool. I'm reading all my notes for today. Discover what your major distractions are and learn how to focus. So there's this activity that I'm pretty sure everybody had heard about, right? About finding out what your big rocks are. It's about, you know, that person that is in a classroom and, you know, fills a jar with water and asks if it's full, and then starts placing big rocks and then little rocks and then sand, you know, and ask, you know, and is it full now? Is it full now? So your big rocks are your main priorities. Find out what your big priorities are, so you guys can figure out what your little rocks and your sand and your water is, and make sure that you discover what your major distractions are. How much time should you spend prospecting? See, in my notes, it says that if you're organized, it should take less than an hour. I always say that you guys should be blocking out 2 hours, okay? 1 hour for prospecting, 1 hour for following up. Why? Because you guys should be you guys should be prospecting 8 to 12 people every single day, and that should take you about an hour. Now, when I say 8 to 12 people every single day, it does not mean that if you call 8 to 12 people and only 2 people pick up, you guys are good to go. That's not what I mean at all. That means that you guys are going to call as many people as you can until you guys have spoken to at least 8 to 12 people. So if that takes you 100 phone calls to get 8 people to respond to you, that's what it takes. Now, prospecting should be about an hour. Following up should be another hour. Now, your follow-up calls, see, I like to do prospecting as catch-up calls, and then your following up calls are those who express some sort of interest or told you guys like, oh, I think my cousin said she wanted to buy. That's a follow-up call, if that makes sense. Now, the goal should be that it should take you 2 hours a day, prospecting and following up. Besides prospecting and following up, you know, when you guys are doing your agendas and you guys are blocking out your times, you guys should definitely have, even if you guys have no appointments that week or that month or whatever it should be, your calendar should look like if you were the busiest person in the world, right? You guys should have blocked out what times you guys are going to be showing, what time you guys are going to be, you know, going into your trainings, what time you guys are going to be following up, what time you guys are going to be prospecting, and so forth. Does that make sense? More or less? Now, I said this story the other day, and again, this is all about mind setting. Mind setting. The word, and it's funny, one of the realtors called me the other day and she says, you know, that on one of the very first masterminds that I did this year, I spoke about consistency. And when I spoke about consistency, I said this one story, and I'm going to be repeating it several times this year to you guys, because I felt that that is what most realtors lack in this industry, is consistency. And if you guys had all your things in order and we just consistently did everything that we're supposed to be doing on an everyday basis, then you guys, your business would excel, right? So this is a story of a farmer, not a real farmer, but a real estate farmer. He's an 80-year-old realtor who goes door knocking. He does not use technology. He doesn't have social media, but he's one of the top producers in his office. And he has been going door knocking in the exact same neighborhood every single day for over 15 years. Now, the new agents in that office, they would all go door knocking with the farmer. And they would be super excited that they were going to be so much better than the farmer because they had all the technology, they had all the websites, they had all the social media, they had all the tools and systems, but most of them failed. And the reason that they failed is because they did not do what the farmer did. Can you guys tell me what it is that these agents missed to do? What they missed to do is that Larry went door knocking every single day for over 15 years. And that is consistency. And that's why Larry was more successful than the other ones. Okay. Any questions so far? Any comments? Anything that you guys have worked on in maybe 2020 that might stick out to some of the things that I'm saying today that you guys want to share?
Hello, yes.
Yes, Marisa?
Yes, for example, in my case, I have one neighbor that he was looking at a house, okay? And I add him to the auto email.
Very nice.
And sometimes I see
What
that.
auto email are you using? Are you using the KV Core?
No, the MLS.
I
use both, but in this case, I use MLS.
All right, perfect.
And in my case, sometimes I resend the emails to his WhatsApp. Okay. And one day he told me, no, I buy. And I say, why he buy with other person if I was sending through WhatsApp, sending an email, and I say, what was my mistake? Because I don't understand that. Because I was following up, I was sending WhatsApp. In this case, what do you recommend to do?
Did you ever call them?
He is my neighbor, and when I saw him, sometimes I spoke with him, but I didn't call him. Because
if you have, and I will say this about auto email, and I mean, I love auto email. I teach you guys how to do the auto emails. But if you guys are just putting the auto emails out there and then not checking how often they're being emailed and what they're getting, because maybe what we're setting up in the criteria needs to be tightened up a little bit, or maybe loosen up a little bit. Maybe they're getting way too many results, or maybe they're getting way too little results, right? So I will say that even though you had them in the auto email and you were sending it to them via WhatsApp, what I believe that you failed to do is, hey, did you like any of the houses that you saw? Is there anything that I could be searching differently? Is everything doing the follow-up conversation sometimes is so important, especially when you know that they're trying to purchase. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And the same way that you might have had them on that auto send email, he could have been obviously speaking to another realtor who might have been working with him on a more close basis, because you're only speaking to them when you see them, but you're not calling them to find out, hey, did you find anything? Would you like to go see anything? Is there anything that I should be showing you? Should I be tidying something up for you? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Okay, I have a question. Like
Yes.
recently, I have a client, and he's from New York. I mean, most of clients that I have is from New York.
Amazing.
So
They're all moving down here.
yes, no, he's more likely invested, that he told me, and he would like to purchase an apartment and for rent.
Mhm.
So I, you know, I show him some apartment. He take a look, and then he said, okay, he will let me know. Of course, he left already, and so I tried to find out what's going on. I called him, I emailed him. So finally, he picked up and he told me, you know, he may be back like in a year, but if something interesting will be, just send me. So I don't know, should I like call him and annoy him, or like, you know?
I don't want you to annoy them. You know what I'm saying? But did you put him on an auto send email?
Yes, I mean, he doesn't want any like auto send. He told me exactly what he wants. And he said, just send me the one that I interest, not like a bunch of them, because for sure he's not gonna look at them, you know? And he's like
So
a
maybe
busy
you
man.
should
He
have
doesn't.
that auto send email set up for you. So when something pops up with what he wants, you get notified, and then right away you call him and say, hey, I found this for you, and send it to him at that time. Now you should be following up at least every 2 months, especially if you know that he is someone that is more or less interested, and you know, and really on top of what's going on. You know, like you know that he at some point is going to be purchasing, and he wants something super specific. I would be calling him every 2 months, like, hey, either have you seen the ones I've sent you, or, you know, would you like to tighten up the search, or do you want to change it a little bit? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, how's New
You know,
York
in
doing?
one point I felt like it's not like he's going to be back in a year, of course, you know, and he was like interesting to purchase something. So it's like maybe he's like pushing me away. So I don't know, or maybe not. He's like, okay, send me some, but you know, so it's very, you know, it's very delicate when sometimes you're too pushy, or maybe sometimes you're not pushy. You know, it's difficult to find a middle. And I'm absolutely new, as you know, I just got
But I
my
feel
license.
like you know your clients as well. Like, you know who you can be pushy to and who you cannot be pushy to. Obviously, this one sounds like you want to be aggressive, but not as aggressive.
Yes.
He might be a good one where you know you do have him in all of your holiday mails, or send him more information on Florida or Miami, or, you know, and as soon as those particular properties that he wants come out, send it to him. And before you send it to him, maybe call him and say, hey, I found this one listing that came out, and I thought of you. But be on top of that client in a way where he knows you are thinking of him, but in a non, hey, buy this now way, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Does anyone? I do like when we open up talk, because we all grow and learn from what everybody else is doing. Yvonne?
About 6 years ago, I'm pretty sure it was about 6 years ago, I was with Orlando Montiel, doing tutoring with him. I think I learned a lot, but there are two things that I always remember. The first one is that he said that when we build our database, he recommended to do two different separation. I don't know how to say. The first one is about past clients. The second one about prospecting clients. But the third one, he called it connectors. He said that connectors are those people who works as an accountant on banks, investors, advisors, people who works with another people who must have money and doesn't know how to do with it. So he recommends to be in contact with these accountants, different accountants, people.
Yeah, like attorneys, accountants.
Yes, this kind of people, and it sounds interesting for me. And the other thing that is that every month he did an special interview with famous people here in real estate, like Alicia Cervera, or owners of different real estate agents. And all of them say that the first thing that they do in the morning is to do like a to-do list, to write the to-do list with the 10 most important things to do during the day. But as always, we have to do another thing that we didn't have on the list. But they recommend to do like a small paper that you can keep on your, I don't know, in your jacket or in front of your computer, but keep it and don't let that the day finish until you complete these 10 things to do during the day. And they say that they was successful because they was, like you say, constant.
Yes, consistency is
consistency.
I will say that I'm very good friends. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, Jalal, who is known as the king of Miami real estate. He's super annoying. You know, if you guys watch his Instagram stuff, he's extremely annoying. He's obnoxious. But I love to say his story. He's actually on the 8th floor here in the same building. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys have seen that I have a parrot, and he's the one who gave me the parrot. Now, his story is interesting. He's from the Middle East. He's from Jordan. He moved to the United States thinking he was gonna work for Grant Cardone, and you know, he was fired just after 2 weeks. He had brought with him like his life savings, and you know, all he was able to purchase at the time when he came to work for Grant Cardone was this really beat up little car, right? He got that, and he spent money on getting his real estate license, and he didn't get the job. He got his real estate license, but he had nowhere to live. He actually lived in his car for about 2 years. He worked at a real estate company, and he would literally take a shower and bathe inside the bathroom of that building, and he would eat, you know, out of the leftover of everybody else that, you know, would leave in the fridge, that they had given him the okay to eat those leftovers. And today he actually owns over 64 properties, and he's a landlord. You know, he owns 64 properties, and he's a landlord too, and he lives in one of the most beautiful townhouses very close by to here in Aventura. Now, the reason why I like to say his story is because he is one, he's not human. I call him a machine, right? But one of the things that I do get from him is consistency. And when you said the story right now about having a small paper with a to-do list, he actually has, you know, the yellow paper with the lines, notebooks that you can carry. And this is something that I learned from him that I've been doing for the last 3 years since I met Jalal. At nighttime, I write down everything that I look forward to for the next day, kind of like in gratitude. You know, I'm gonna go to sleep in gratitude for everything that's coming tomorrow. And every morning I wake up and I write down all the things that I need to get done for today. I've been doing this now for 3 years now. I don't keep it small. I don't put it in my pocket. But I will say that if I write it down, I can remember absolutely anything. That's how I've been my whole life. That's how I passed school. Like I never had to study. All I had to do was write it down once, right? So there's people that obviously don't have that. Like I can tell you exactly what color pen, how I wrote it. Like I just remember what I write down. Now, obviously, if you're not somebody that can remember it, you know, the way that I can, and this is why I don't use digital calendars, because if I write it down, I remember it. Now, if you're not like that, I would say, you know, keep it in a small paper, just like Yvonne mentioned, but write down absolutely everything you need to get done, right? He also taught me a few things. not just to write down absolutely everything every day and then to be in gratitude at nighttime. He also, he also breaks it down, his goals for the month that will get him to where he needs to be in 5 years. So he writes down all of his goals on an every monthly basis, and then he breaks it down by the week, and then he breaks it down by the day. So what I write down that I have to do on, per the day, it's not like, oh, I have a Zoom at 10 in the morning or I have to do this. For me, it's also like I work on my branding and marketing a lot, because if it works for me, then I can teach you guys what's working for me so you guys can do it, right? So when it comes to my branding and marketing, I'll say, I have to create the content for the month. I have to do the holiday post. I have to, and then from there I start doing, set up my email campaigns or whatever it is that I have to do. Like if your day consists of like an hour of prospecting and following up, you shouldn't write that down, because it's an automatic no that from this time to this time, you guys have to prospect and follow up. But if there's something outside that you guys need to work on, those are the things that I write down. Like if you guys follow me on Instagram, I haven't done a video in a million years, and I have that in my writing for this week, that I have to create videos for my Instagram, and I have to set up my email campaigns for the holidays, which I haven't done that in a long time either. So those are the things that I write down. And that is something that I did learn from Jalal. He is so consistent and he is so focused. He wakes up at 4:30 in the morning every day so he could be in the gym at 5. Now, every entrepreneurship book that I've read and everything that, I've motivational book, mind-setting book, everything that I've read that has something to do with real estate or just with growth, everything, says that in order for you guys to be good, Francisco says, just wanted to recommend Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning book to all of you. Francisco, when I'm done with this, I want you to tell me about it. Everything that I've read and everything will tell you to really focus, not just on your work goals, but everything that's mind, body, everything, emotional state of being, everything consists on how you are going to run your life, right? So when it comes to Jalal, he was like the perfect example of everything that I was reading is everything that he was doing, right? Like wake up early, work out, eat healthy, crush the goals at work, have, the good people around you, identify who his cancerous cells are that are not allowing, sorry, that are not allowing him to grow. He is a huge example of that for me. And ever since I've met him, I've really attempted to do kind of mimic some of the things. Now, again, he has like no personal life. I'm telling you, I call him a machine more so than human. But I have really let go of a lot of cancerous cells that I had in my life. 2021 was the year that I said, you know what, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to work out. I wake up at 5 in the morning every single day. I'm at the gym by 6:15. I am on my morning routine is like on lock. Now, if I can get a good routine for nighttime would be something else, but my morning routine is on lock. And it is all from writing down every single thing that I should be doing on an everyday basis. Now, Francisco, tell me about the book, please. Hello.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
I'm doing
okay, first of all, thank you very much. Amazing course. Okay, I don't know if you heard about Hal Elrod. It changed a lot of lives. It's simple, it's easy, it's consistent, and it's a time block every morning with Savers anagram. For the edge, you have silence. In silence, you can meditate, you can pray, you can do yoga, no news, no music, no social media, just your inner routine of silence. If you meditate or if you pray or whatever it is, it's very important. Begin with that step. Then affirmations.
Affirmations are so important.
Very
I say
important.
this
Prayers,
all the time.
positive about real estate, about work, about helping people, about
Yeah.
helping people find their dream homes and, 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 bring back their lives together or whatever. Then you have B for B visualizations. Mental walkthrough of the upcoming day, imagine with details, just like you were saying about how you imagine your clients, how they are, how they do for living, what they want, etc. Then you have exercise, because cardiovascular exercise. To I don't know if you have heard of breathing exercises. Do you know about from Netherlands, from Holland? Okay, it's a breathing exercise. 10 minutes. You oxygenate your brain in a very specific way. Or running is very, very, very important to change the chemic of the brain every morning. Well, read something educational or incorporate your job, your work, your project, your 2 hours of like you were saying, like prospecting and then following up, blocking after you do first silence, then affirmations, then visualizations, then exercise, then work, work block, time block, and then write down everything later in the day, nighttime, ballet diaries. I don't know if you know something about ballet diaries. Well, um, that helped me a lot in the past, and it's amazing. Just
Yes.
wanted to share this with you and say hello to
Yes.
know
I'm
you.
gonna look
Thank
it
you
up.
very much.
I'm gonna look it up. I will say that anything that can get your I mean, I don't know if everybody's the same way, but when your morning routine is down packed, just the rest of your day flows easier and better. Um, I know that when I go to the gym as early as possible, I know that I start my day with, that protein shake, that mindset of like, I'm gonna eat better. I'm gonna eat, like, it flows better. Your brain kind of thinks in a different, way. Um, it does change. It
Yes.
changes your entire day. And this is something that I did learn from Jalal. I used to work out heavily before 2020. 2020 was a disaster. But but I used to always work out at nighttime. And when I changed it to the morning, it changed my life in that sense. Now write down absolutely everything that you need to, you know,
Yeah,
reach for the
yeah.
day. Very
I
important.
I don't know I don't know how old are you, but I'm 45, and all my life, all my adult life, I've been through digital tools, always. But from 2 years ago, from 2 years now, I'm writing everything.
Yeah.
Again, writing again, like I was writing 20 years ago at the university, and it changed my life.
I literally write down everything. Like I have notebooks coming out of everywhere.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
it's
I write
fantastic.
down
Okay,
absolutely everything. Now,
okay,
I will share this, especially for those who write down things. This notebook has changed my life. Um, it's, I guess you can call it digital in a way. I write down all my notes, but every single page has a scanner, right? And I don't know if you guys can see them.
mhm,
Okay, maybe you guys can see them here better. But over here it has like little shapes where I can actually tell when I scan it, I can actually tell it where to go, right? So when I scan the page, it will see where it goes. And I don't think I have it.
great. Okay,
Right, so I don't have them.
very useful.
I don't have them set up over here because now I just kind of know like where they're gonna go, right? But whenever like each
Perfect.
one will say
Okay,
like either
thank you.
Google Drive or to my email or text message,
Icon.
whatever you guys want it to go. And the pens that I use are erasable. So anything that I write, you know, in this one notebook, I can erase. I can also erase it with water. I have a little thing here, but I can scan it and I can keep my notes forever. So every time I go to a conference or I go into a training, I write it in this book, I can just scan it and then keep my notes forever. And it has changed my life tremendously. So I do recommend the Rocket Book.
Great, thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
I do
Thank you
recommend the
so
Rocket
much.
Book for anybody who might need.
Rocket book. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Fantastic. Thank
Can
you.
can I add something to that? I think this is an awesome meeting. I think it's well needed for mentorship, as well as what the gentleman Francisco just said, as well as what you just said, because I think for who is on the line or did not make it on the line, it is a ray of hope. You said you have removed all cancerous, negative from
Yes.
their lives, because that becomes so distractive and it allows you not to perform. I was one of the best performer in Atlanta, Georgia. Made so much money. I'm going to tell a quick story. I came here to Florida to go to Switzerland, never made it. I am in a city that I know no one. So that plays a part on me as far as how I perform. I throw up my hands and I'm like, oh, there's no hope. But this meeting today for the first of the year 2021 is awesome. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. It is sometimes when I, especially on Fridays, when I go do the mastermind, or when I have this bright idea of like, oh my God, let's block out 4 days and I'll sit there and talk for 2 hours, right? And the days before, I'm like, and what am I going to talk about? Like, why do I do this to myself? What am I going to speak about? How am I going to make up these 2 hours? How much mindsetting or motivation, or what is it that I'm going to do? And then as it starts rolling and everybody starts sharing their ideas or, you know, stories or things that they, you know, it just pieces it all together and it all makes sense of why these meetings are so important, right? And I don't know if you were here at the very beginning, but I do like when I start asking you guys at the very beginning what you guys are working on, because based on what you guys are working on is how I can help you. Sorry, my mouth is so dry from speaking these past 2 hours. Based on what you guys are working on is how I can assist you guys on furthering, right, what it is that you guys are doing, your goals. And I always invite you guys to come to the office. I always tell you guys to come by. Let's block out times together. Let's make a plan that works for you guys and then go from there. But before we go, kind of went through all my notes for today fairly quickly. Does anybody else have anything else that you guys want to share, comment, anything you guys are working on that you guys may need some help on? Are we good? Let's see. Give me 1 second to see if I can find one. I have written a few stories. I had written so many notes and I think I kind of went through them all just fairly quickly today, actually, and it's been an hour and a half. I think we're good on today. Is there anything, and I want to go ahead and grab, sorry, the flyer for today. I mean, the flyer for this week. Is there anything in particular that you guys want to go ahead and touch up on this week? Now, tomorrow we have farming, FISBOs, expired listings, listing presentations, working with buyers. Wednesdays, we're going to touch up on .loop, KV Core, MLS. If there's any other system, maybe Remine that we can get to, I want to touch up on that. Thursday, I want to touch up on kind of like a Q&A. You know, questions you guys might have in regards to the week, questions you guys might have in general, what works, what doesn't. Is there anything that you guys might want me to add into this that you guys want me to touch up on, or anything in particular you guys want me to work with when it comes for you guys? Are we good?
For me, KB Core, it's good. This is the one of that I want to know and remind.
And Remind. All right, so I'll throw Remind in there. And the reason why I ask you guys, and I do want to mention, I obviously do the .loop class, MLS, and KV Core on an every month basis. So I want to do this one a little bit different, maybe twist it, maybe get more into the programs, maybe only teach those things that we really, really need to touch up on. So we can do the entire week together. If there's anything, absolutely anything in particular that you guys want me to go ahead and touch up on this week, anything at all, please let me know. I literally have days of notes in here. I have them all separated by days that I want to go ahead and touch up on when it comes to you guys. I want to teach you guys a lot this week. And I want you guys to stay with the mind setting all week long. And then, you know, on Friday, finish it up strong with a mastermind. And then every Friday, continue it, okay? But if there's absolutely anything you guys want to know in particular, please do let me know. Now, Gloria is asking, what CRM do you recommend? Listen, I've had access to Follow Up Boss. I've had access to Lion Desk. I've had access to Firepoint, to Total Brokerage, to Agent 3000. For me, my favorite, the best one out there is the one that we have, which is KV Core. Comparing it in price, if you guys were to go out and get it on your own, it's between $300 to $400. You get it here, it's $50 a month. Now, $50 a month is pretty much what Follow Up and Lion Desk might cost you. And, you know, KV Core does have the landing pages, the lead generation, and you guys can do Google Ads directly from there, Facebook Ads directly from there. So for me, the best one, you know, I continue to say it is KV Core. On top of that, you guys get the website that you guys can throw out there and grabs and absorbs the leads information. So I continue to tell you guys, if you guys are able to get into KV Core, get into KV Core. Now on Friday, I was mentioned another one that I wrote down. modern agent. I haven't checked it out. I have to do my homework and check it out before Friday because I promised an agent that I would go ahead and check it out for them. But for me, so far, KV Core has absolutely everything that you guys should need. It does the mass emails. You guys can actually pop in the flyers in there. I don't know if you guys have noticed all the marketing flyers that we're creating for you guys. We're doing all the holidays. We're doing the market reports. You guys can grab all those items and throw them into your mass emails and send them out straight from your CRM. So that's a way of prospecting. Those same flyers, you guys can put them on all your social media, on your Instagram, on your Facebook, on your Twitters, and your LinkedIn's. But Gloria, for me, CRM, KV Core so far is the best one I've worked with. You're welcome. Any other questions or anything else you guys?
Okay, one more. I know, do you know KCM, Keeping Current Matters as a source of news? It's very, very, yes. Very nice. Keeping current matters.
Yes.
Excellent website, and you can have a pro profile if you want, but it's free. A lot of news, a lot of
it's content.
Guides. Only content, but very, very, very nice content.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you. Anything else, guys? Anything else you guys want to chime in and say?
Also, I'd like to make a suggestion. Thanks for asking. Can you please, when we do these classes, send an automatic survey so we can give you our opinions? Thank you.
Anything else, guys? All right, very cool. And with that said, Francisco, do you have anything to say?
No, thank you. No.
Then with that said,
thank you so much. See you tomorrow.
Yes, see you tomorrow. With that said, I wish you guys an amazing Monday. Mindset Monday. That's why I wanted to do mindsetting today. Have an amazing, amazing Monday. Tomorrow is gonna be another amazing day. I'm gonna have guest speakers come in and speak with me throughout the week. I'm not gonna say who they are. They're gonna be sprinkling in. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow and the rest of the week. So I wish you guys a beautiful, beautiful Monday. Please go prospect. 1 hour of prospect.
Okay. Thank you. Be safe.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.